Mendes and Justin Bieber here on BBC Radio Gloucestershire Saturday breakfast programme that is Monster. Hello there, good morning, I'm Mark Smith with you until 10 o'clock. Now for many people January means a real effort to get fit, shift a few festive pounds maybe, or perhaps it's about trying to have a better routine that you try to get into for the new year. One of those kind of New Year resolutions that you try and make every year, and how well do you do? Well, it certainly isn't easy with cold, wintry weather. Gyms, of course, closed because of COVID restrictions. Despite all of this, though, going on, Cheltenham Running Club is launching new Couch to 5K programs. It's had a huge interest in a new walking group. Unfortunately, we'll all have to start online as they get going. But joining me now is Conor Graham, who is actually, he's so busy that Cheltenham Running Club is now his full-time job. Good morning, Conor. How are you?
Morning, Mark. Thanks for having me.
So, how long have you been involved in doing sort of personal training and fitness stuff, and particularly working with Cheltenham Running Club?
Personal training since 2001, but Cheltenham Running Club we set up in 2013, and that was really after seeing the amount of interest there was in running in Cheltenham. You know, the clubs in Cheltenham were really brimming and to a certain extent overflowing. So we really pitched things at the lower level, at people looking to get into running, and since we started a Couch to 5K program, they've just been fantastic. You know, it's really grown the club, bringing through people, just getting into running and then going on to doing 10Ks and half marathons from there.
I think that's really important. I will say from here, I do a lot of running. People here in the office, they kind of come to me for bits of advice, and I say, look, I'm not an expert, I just like doing it. But there is that sense that people want that little bit of advice because they don't know how to start. There's always this sense that you get lots of running clubs and they're helping people run the London Marathon or whatever. But getting people started, and I guess that it's getting started, that first hurdle. I sometimes say to people, just getting out the front door is the most difficult thing. And that's almost what you've tapped into, I guess.
Yeah, it's so easy for a run to go wrong. You know, a lot of us, if we're not following a plan, we'll go out and we'll get started and we feel good in the first 5-10 minutes. But a lot of the time we're trying to run at a speed that our body's just not really capable of sustaining, and we start to hurt, the lungs start burning, and we break into a walk, and that's fine. But often we're pushing ourselves too hard in those early minutes of the run, and it puts our body into a bit of a state that it can't really recover from within that session. Obviously you can recover, you have a sleep, a couple of nights off running, but within that session, you can't come back from it. And each time you try and run, it's going to be harder to run as long as you did in the first block when you felt good. And there's multiple reasons for this. Apart from just running too fast, a lot of people aren't warming up properly, so the airways haven't opened up. The blood vessels aren't letting the blood move to the muscles well enough. So there's a lot of things that we can do to help people getting started. Education's key for new runners. It's learning how to do it properly, really.
I guess at this time of year, you are always inundated with people wanting to have a bit of advice and wanting to get started.
Yeah, I mean, January is a popular time. In saying that, it's cold, some people would prefer to delay it till spring, but, if they are delaying it, it is really, it's 3 months, 4 months that you're waiting, and then it's April showers. So there's no really good time, or you could say it's always a good time to start running, really, because the sooner you get started, the sooner you get the benefits, and the sooner you notice the progress. If you're doing it in a sustainable way, you can get that reward of noticing improvements in your ability every time you go out for a run. And we teach people to set themselves up with a free running app that will actually record their speeds and distances, so they can really see in numbers the improvement that they're making week on week. And I think that's really important if you're getting started with anything in fitness, is to actually see that you are making progress. It's not just feeling better, but actually seeing that progress in numbers and knowing that you can run further and further and further. And, before our guys know it, they are literally running non-stop for 5K.
Which is fantastic. But even now, you're thinking about having walking groups, and you had more than 100 people that keen to get into a walking group. So even sort of before they got to that stage of thinking about running, there's this interest in just being able to go and find some others to be able to go walking with.
Well, that's right. And, we weren't doing this as a means of leading into the Couch to 5K, because we can see that there are a lot of people out walking already. And in speaking to these people on the phone. You know, I've spoken to everyone that we've booked into to attend walks, which have now been obviously cancelled. But in talking to them, they've told me that they want that social interaction. They want to meet new people, but also, they can't talk to people in their homes anymore, and talking to neighbours out on the streets quite cold. So actually walking or running while you're talking to someone, it keeps you warm, but it also, it's getting you some exercise, and that's key. That's so important for so many people these days. And people say that they've told me that they're not as comfortable walking by themselves as they would be with another person. That you've mentioned some of the reasons there. Obviously, it's getting dark earlier, but also, some people just say, look, I'm not walking a dog. I'm that lady walking around the streets by myself, and I feel a bit self-conscious, and we don't want people to feel that way. But of course, if we can buddy them up with someone else of similar ability, then they're going to, have that experience that they want,
And because of all the COVID stuff, you're going to have to start on Zoom on Monday, but at least it's a chance to sort of meet people that way.
Yeah, that Zoom would just be a meeting to lay out what we're going to do, given the new restrictions. And so obviously we had planned to group people into groups of 6 and send them off for walks and runs in January, as like a free trial period. But we're going to have to change that now. Effectively, we'll be buddying people up. So we'll be encouraging them to basically feedback to us what sort of level they're at. And we've got a great way of doing that. But once we know whereabouts they're at with their walking, then we can buddy them up with someone of similar ability and set them off to do it. But we'll also provide routes that they can follow. And, we won't be able to say, meet here at a certain time, but by buddying them up, we'll be able to provide the route for them to do, and they can choose a time to do that so that it's, nice and safe. And it actually, they can do it at a time that suits them, as opposed to having to do it when we say, so that there are benefits of this different way of meeting.
Well, Conor, it's great to get hear all about it. I guess if people want to find more, I spotted this on Facebook, so Cheltenham Running Club on Facebook. Do you have a website as well?
Yeah, just cheltenhamrunning.co.uk.
Fantastic stuff. Conor Graham there. Thank you so much for joining us. So, yeah, lots of people wanting to go sort of get a little bit fitter as we get into the new year. Conor's got lots of bits of advice. Yes, there's an annual fee which goes with it, but just a way to be able to go and meet people, to even just get started out going for a bit of a walk, and then you can perhaps progress up to a little bit of a run. And as you were saying there, just having some figures, some numbers that you can look at to see how well you're improving. That is a real motivation to see those numbers getting better. ZZ Top now with Sharp Dress Man.